Alright, so my name is Morgan. I'm pretty much new to YouTube. I've done a couple of videos where I just recorded like some footage from like a game or something. I've never really put a lot of thought into it. But now I've decided that something I enjoy doing is kind of like dissecting and reviewing games. Um, Not necessarily just games, movies, shows, stuff like that, but for the most part, games. Um, So today I want to start out by doing a review of a game called Greedfall. I played it for, from what Steam said, 50 hours. Played it all the way through, did a fair amount of side missions, paid a good amount of attention to what was going on. Um, so to start out, it was definitely a unique game. It wasn't very similar to a lot of games I played, and in that sense, it was good. It was very unique. Um, Set in like an interesting setting, like I just want to say like 1600s, maybe 1700s timeline with kind of like a mythical um, feeling to it on top of that because there was like magic, but it was kind of odd. Some of it was like religion based magic, and that was really weird to me. But so I want to get in depth and just talk about the good and the bad of it and whether or not it's really worth playing. So, the game in the trailers gave the impression that you were going to be given a lot of choices, which I like. I really liked, Outer Worlds. I like the idea behind, being able to choose exactly what's going to happen and actually being able to live with those consequences without, the story's narrative pushing you back into one direction no matter what you choose. So, it looked really interesting from that aspect. It also made it seem like you were going to be, traveling across the ocean back and forth, searching for lost treasures and relics and stuff like that, which, I mean, not necessarily, it didn't really give the impression of a pirate game necessarily. It's just that you were like a treasure hunter almost, which when I got further and further into the game, I lost hope that that was going to be a thing at all. Further and further I went. Um, 50 hours in, not a single bit of that. That's not what the game is about at all. So the trailers were kind of misleading. Um, I would say the main issue that I had with the game throughout the game, even within the first, I think even the first hour of playing, there's a lot of choices that aren't real choices. And what I mean by that is that when you decide to, like the religious faction in the game, I didn't want anything to do with the religious faction at all. The first mission they have you do, they want you to go chase down some innocent people and kill them because they are heretics, even though in reality they're just historians. Um, so I there's a couple choices in the dialogue, and I made every choice that was obvious that I wanted nothing to do with them. I still ended up doing the side mission, and I tried pissing them off. I tried making it to where they didn't want me around, but in reality, there was no real way to go against them. And no matter what you do, your character is just this courteous and gentlemanlike person to all the people you talk to, even if you hate those people. Um, the choices are misleading, and that means that as you make the choices in the game, you may think that you're making a decision to go for or against something, but all paths meet back in the middle. Doesn't matter what you do, you will end up getting back to that singular point. Now, there are some choices in the game that actually have a permanent ramification that based on what you do, but they're nothing that matters, and they don't affect the main story at all. They really don't affect any of the side stories either. And I find that really frustrating. It just For a game that's based around storytelling and decisions, it's not story based, and it's not. Your decisions mean nothing. Um, the the fighting isn't necessarily bad. Like the combat system isn't too bad, but it's kind of boring. Is the best way to put it. It's not like the controls are finicky. It's not like there aren't some choices in your combat style, but the gear is kind of meh, and the skills don't really make anything feel different. Um, you do have a lot of choices, and you can switch up your build pretty often if you want, based on like these memory fragments. I think that's what they were called. Um, there's really no point. You can do anything you want, and you're gonna win the combat. I never fought anybody who was all that difficult. Um, so for me, I thought that was it's just boring. The combat was really boring to me. Um, it just felt like throughout the entire game that okay, so it starts out you're like, oh, okay, it's story driven. No, the story's kind of whatever, and everything you do doesn't matter. Okay, well then it's decision based. Your decisions don't mean anything. Okay, it's a combat based game. The combat's boring, drab, and really don't have anything that's flashy or amazing about it. Does combat need to be flashy? Absolutely not. But if it's not going to be flashy, it needs to be fun or in depth. You gotta have something to make combat appealing. Considering in the game there's a lot of combat. Um, it's just everywhere you go looking to find what this game is about, what makes this game unique and fun. Really, it's just the setting that makes it unique, nothing else. It's a boring game. It's not worth the price. Overall, I wanted to like it. I really did, and obviously I tried to. I played 50 hours into this game. I tried a bunch of different methods to change how the story was going to go, to change what factions were around me or liked me or hated me. The most impact you can have on a faction is by wearing the right outfit, and that's incredibly lame. I mean, I don't really have much else to say about the game. Some of the voice actors are really good. I'll say that. Some of the voice lines are really impactful. You can feel the emotion. You can feel what they were trying to convey with their speech. And, I mean, I did like that. Some of the storytelling parts were only okay, or good even, just because how well the voice actors delivered it. Some of the characters, though, were kind of. They weren't unique. You could have put any other character from any other game in their spot, and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. I will say that there wasn't a lot of bugs in the game. Like, I didn't come across pretty much any glitches. So I will say that it was really well put together before they put it out. And I'll give them props for that. But overall, I give the game about a 4 out of 10. It did okay in a lot of different aspects, but that's not what people are looking for anymore, especially in an RPG. I could still play Fable 150 times over, and I would enjoy every second of it. This game, there's no replay value, and I barely got through the first playthrough. So anyway, I have a bird, I have a cat, so if you heard either of them, I apologize. They're noisy. It's what they do. I do play with some of my friends occasionally, so I'll probably put some of that footage up, but for the most part, I'm trying to make this a review channel. I have no idea how to edit videos, so this is going to be a one record, upload kind of thing until I understand what I'm doing. I have other things that I do on the side, but if you have any games that you want me to review or you want me to play, anything like that, just let me know. Thank you for watching.